Metro Detroit, this is HBL Radio Nation. Yes, it is. I'm Brian P. Gallagher.
And I'm Diane Russell.
And we're here again on another wonderful Thursday. Thank you for joining us. Make certain to follow us and subscribe, donate, give us your children anything that you possibly can, everywhere that you can, on all the socials. That would be wonderful. We always start on a bit of a somber tone here where we talk about the gun violence archives numbers as far as to what we're at as with mass shootings. Mass killings. Mass shootings in the United States right now, 141.
Ugh.
I believe that's up 10.
Yes, it is.
So that's 10 in the last 7 days.
God.
So that's definitely more than one a day. I mean, it's like, you could potentially, go to 2 mass shootings in a day.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how much people are cosplaying Rambo out there.
It's just disgusting.
It's horrible.
And here we are. We are watching right now, live on MSNBC, the Tennessee House Republicans trying to kick out 3 Democratic representatives for siding with the teenage protesters that are there because of the shooting 8 days ago, or actually 9 days ago now, in Tennessee that killed 6
and Marge Taylor Greene
children.
has done so much worse than any of that, but they are trying to oust 3 Democrats from the House right here.
Just for siding with the kids. And why?
Because they're paid probably by the NRA.
It's just
allegedly.
They're sick fuckers, and they've been fucking around all over the country while everybody's been distracted. Tony, I don't know what happened to my Zoom. I touched it by accident. It went out.
I'm going to also mention a little bit about
Should I
the
start over?
Bud Light cancel culture. And the Bud Light cancel culture thing that's going on right now, which is hysterical to me because everyone is trying to get away from Bud Light because Bud Light, of course, picked up a trans spokesperson.
God, this story.
And it's great because so many of them are really giving it to Bud Light by throwing out beer that they've already paid for and replacing it with Coors Light when Coors Light has already come out openly on the side of LGBTQ.
I love Lakota Man. Did you see his post?
And, somebody else was pouring out a Stella and his wife was pouring out something else too. And it's like, what are you guys going to be drinking other than, you're going to have to go over to all that frou-frou local IPA stuff. And they're going to be drinking all that, bathtub beer.
Did you see the Kid Rock video?
The Kid Rock video, of course I saw it. I thought it was hilarious.
And it's funny because he calls himself
28
Kid
out
Rock.
of those 30 beers survived.
I know.
Because he is such a shit shot. His shooting is as good as his music.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's all over the place.
I'm sorry, Michigan. I'm sorry, the world. He was made here. Made in Detroit.
Sorry. We birthed a turd on that one.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's absolutely terrible on that. But this is the side that is against cancel culture.
Yeah.
And they're all for canceling out everything that they can. They're banning books. They're doing everything else. Again, they're mirroring what it is that they're doing. You're all cancel culture and woke. But what really it is that they're, canceling everything they can and they're broke.
Right.
So,
well, let's start with the George Soros-backed DA and go into that story right now.
Sure.
Because that broke this morning. Go ahead, Brian. You start with that one.
With
the Supreme Court story.
The Supreme Court story was you had they've been talking about how Soros, is the one backing Alvin Bragg.
Yeah, and they won't shut up about it. And we know what they mean, by the way, when they say Soros backed.
Yes.
We know what they mean.
They mean Jews.
Yeah.
And we found out today, actually, got real confirmation in a lot of the sources.
Massive story.
That the Thomases, Clarence and
Ginny.
his wife, Ginny, that they've been corrupt for a long time, that for decades they've been getting money from a Bond villain named Harlan Crow.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous that they're talking about how, he's Soros-backed, she's Soros-backed, he's Soros-backed, when really they've got somebody in the Supreme Court who is their version of Soros
And who
backed.
who paid
He's a
off
billionaire.
Kavanaugh? Who paid off Kavanaugh's all his bills?
It's got to be, Harlan
The
Crow.
Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation. How are they getting all their money?
Have you ever heard of this Harlan Crow fellow before?
I've never heard of him before.
Never heard of him before.
Never
He's
heard of
definitely
him
a
before
Bond villain.
today.
But somebody said that 1/3 of the Earth's funds, the money that's going around the Earth, the currency, as it were, 1/3 of it is controlled by nobody knows. It's like there are people who have so much money that they're completely off every radar.
I think it's dark money. It's dark money.
A
That's
lot of
what
it
we're
is
dealing with. Well,
becomes
and
dark
you know what I
money,
found
yeah.
fascinating about that story is that one of Tony's fascinations as well is that Bohemian Grove place in California where all the rich white men go. It's some elite place in the woods. They don't even let you Google Maps it. You can't even see it from Google Maps.
Tony wants to go there.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, and like every politician and every rich motherfucker, but it's all men go there. There's no women allowed. And like reporters have tried to go in there and try to sneak in there and take pictures, and
That
they are
used to be like all the
immediately
old-
notified.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's immediate security that goes on. It's really weird, trippy place.
Like a gentleman's only club, but out in
In the woods.
Like,
Yeah.
not a strip club, but like,
No, there's
originally in the,
a photograph.
1800s,
The
1700s, there would be places where only the gentlemen went.
The photograph of that article.
Going to the club, dear.
The photograph of that article is them at Bohemian Grove in California.
Okay.
With the Indian behind them.
Okay, that's what that's from.
That's what that is.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so I
Because I
found-
kept seeing that photograph, and I'm like, they don't have any better photographs?
I know.
It's
Well,
like
I
all they're
found
got.
it really interesting. What I wrote down is, Justice Clarence Thomas has been, and his coup plotting wife have been accepting luxury vacations and etc. from Republican mega donor, this guy Harlan Crow. I've never heard of him for virtually 20, 30 years without disclosing them. Now that's illegal.
He was
'Cause they're
able
supposed to
get
disclose
them
these
a
gifts.
trip where if they had paid for the plane and if they had paid for where they were staying at out of their pocket, it would have been what, $500,000
Yeah.
for
And
one trip.
Do you remember?
alone
Do you
in that
remember
time
how
period.
Scalia died? He was on one of these fucking donor paid trips when he died.
Was he?
Yes.
Hmm.
That's what was reported today. Now, I did not know that before, and I'd like to look it up and see exactly what happened, but I have not had the chance today. And what Allison Gill said about this is she said, it makes it next to impossible to charge public officials with bribery.
What?
Because if you charge, let's say you charge Donald Trump with bribery and he takes it up to the Supreme Court, they're not going to charge him with bribery because they're taking bribes themselves.
And no one's ever going to say, I need to recuse myself from this because I'm
take
taking bribes right now.
Yeah. And the other thing, I can't remember, I don't know who said this. I might know. Oh, Sunday Divine on Twitter. The R's keep fighting a culture war, so we don't fight the class war. You know what I'm saying? They keep us all like this at each other with the culture stuff. So we don't see that 1% is literally robbing us
They're
fucking
the
blind.
elevated class. And
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
The
Right.
next level down. Yeah.
And it's and I think Republicans should be fucking terrified of what's going on right now. People are pissed.
Right.
And I think that, while all the eyes have been on Trump this week, look at all this Republican shit that they've been doing. It's insane. Tennessee Republicans, excuse me, Tennessee Republicans are voting this morning to remove the Dems. Okay, we already talked about that.
Yeah, the Tennessee 3.
Mississippi has the highest gay. Oh, this is from John Fugelsang. I love this guy. Mississippi has the highest gay porn consumption in the U.S., but they're totally straight guys who only watch to remind themselves how much they hate it. Which I thought was so funny. Oh my God.
Don't turn it
They're the
off.
poorest
This is
state. They have the
terrible.
worst obesity
Horrible.
and the highest
Can
unemployment.
you rewind that?
And transgender minorities can no longer receive transgender affirming care after the Republican governor signed a bill that prohibits healthcare professionals from providing treatment and surgical procedures.
That's in Mississippi as well.
That's in Mississippi.
Also in Mississippi, the governor signed a proclamation for Confederate Heritage Month becoming a thing, but when he signed it, he actually dated it April 31st, 2023, which does not exist. So it nullifies the proclamation, and they need to start over again.
You fucking dumb fucks.
Thank you, Karma.
Now, I read this thread last night, and I don't know if you guys remember who Rebecca Jones is from Florida. She was the scientist. She was the whistleblower in Florida who outed, I call him Death. That's how we got Death Santis. That's how we got that nickname. Failure on COVID during the pandemic. Well, DeSantis, with an armed raid, arrested her for doing that. And we all saw it on her home video, okay, that was all during the pandemic, from her house security cameras.
Is she the one who had her son arrested or something?
Yes, I'm going into this right now. Now, last night, this is Wednesday night, I call him Rhonda now. Okay, so Ron DeSantis, I just call him Rhonda. Rhonda arrested her son for non-threatening Snapchat meme. The officer said it was the state's call. And this is what she had to say on Twitter today. This is a quote.
I did see that meme, by the way.
This corrupt fascist pig is about to find out that the runaway people gave him to defame and attack me isn't there when you just kidnap and charge a 13-year-old autistic kid whose parents happen to be your worst nightmare with felony threats of terrorism and sharing Snapchat memes. This is the most awful thing I think I've heard that DeSantis has actually done so far. You are fucking arresting a 13-year-old autistic kid who doesn't like to be touched. You are a fucking fascist pig.
You crazy Dutch bastard.
You fuck.
Yeah. He also eats pudding with his fingers.
He's a sick fucker.
I've
been watching this story. I've been retweeting all her fucking shit, and now it's kind of getting a little bit more recognition. I bet there's going to be more on this story by next week.
Right.
She's going after him too.
Good. I mean, well, she has to. I mean, it's her son. I mean,
it's insane. You're arresting a minor for a meme. A meme. Yeah. And it was non-threatening meme. Yeah. It wasn't like I'm going to kill you.
But the left are about cancel culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you talk about me? In an unflattering way. Take them away. Take them to the dungeon, boys.
And just to jump back to Clarence Thomas real quick. Somebody, I can't remember, I don't know who it was. I think it was a lawyer. One of the lawyer people. I forgot to write it down. Normally I like to write this shit down, but
no kidding.
Clarence, yeah. That's why I have 25 fucking pages of notes this week. Clarence Thomas flagrantly violation of federal law for him to accept the wildly expensive luxury vacations and gifts. It's actually illegal for him to leave it out. So the lawyers are on top of this. I don't know how we're going to resolve this. This might go on for a while, but he needs to be impeached. And the next thing is, how about 1/3 of the Supreme Court was appointed by a guy who was just about to be indicted for espionage? So we need to rethink that too.
We need to consider, more than consider, we need to start enacting right now an expansion of the Supreme Court.
I agree.
Because the Supreme Court as it stands was for a populace that was much lower than we have now, for fewer states than we have now, for fewer territories than we have now, fewer representation than we have now. Mm-hmm. Everything else is expanded. Really, we need to expand the Supreme Court to kind of match that, to make it fit. Make it fit in its modern...
aren't there like 13 different areas, and normally the areas match the number of Supreme Courts? Like, the reason why we have 9 is because there was like 9 jurisdictions, but
9
now
federal jurisdictions.
Now there's 13.
That's right.
And that's one of the reasons why we should raise it to
Expand
13.
it,
And
yeah.
there's no reason why we shouldn't.
Nobody's saying keep expanding, but expand it to make it make sense with the system that we
Yeah,
have
so
now.
if one person dies, the whole fucking world doesn't goddamn fall apart.
Yeah. As the population went up and as we added more territory, we had to add more of those federal districts. So that's exactly what I meant when I said that. As we had more people, we need more Supreme Court judges in there. We need a bigger Supreme Court.
And when all that was done,
Better representation.
we didn't have that many fucking people on the planet, let alone the United States. And we've expanded it, we've contracted it, we've had 8 for a year because Mitch McConnell's fuckery.
I don't know what you did, Tony, but that sounds better.
There's less air noise.
Yes.
I hear it.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Thank you, Tony. We've got the greatest.
Now you know what the
producer in
new
world.
toy is. That's Tony's new
Voice
old toy.
Oscillator.
So yeah, more
Wunderbar.
on the Republican fuckery. Jim Jordan
It's a
Jim
little
Jordan
on
did
the outside,
the Mark Pomerantz.
lexicon?
God damn it. And then Jim didn't Bragg write another letter going, "You're obstructing justice again, you fucko." I didn't get a chance to read it though.
Basically, yeah.
Now this one's really fucked up because the North Carolina representative Tish Gotham, I think it's like Gotham but with a C, who won election to a deep blue Charlotte area seat as a Democrat just 5 months ago, changed parties to Republicans Tuesday. So that was during the Trump trial.
Right.
And a move that gives ours the veto-proof majority. She was never a Democrat to begin with. This is the second time that this has happened this week.
Yep. She flipped.
And they're like, this is the Democrats. This is the Republican strategy. They're sheep's in wolves' clothing.
And that's North Carolina, right? You said.
Yeah, that's North Carolina, but it
Yep.
also happened, I think, in Kansas, but I'm not sure about that. I do have it written down.
You loser.
This is the new Republicans' strategy to destroy the Democrats from within. You've got Manchin, you've got Sinema, you've got this chick, and then you had the other chick. I think it was in Kansas, or maybe I think it was in Kansas. I don't know. I have to remember. I have to look at my notes. But it's
Well,
like
there are those that
ours are going
flipping, yeah.
after people's rights, while justice is coming after Trump. So
They're seeing where they can potentially get money. Like I've said before, I think every politician is in it for, at least some amount of going after some money and going after some power.
yeah,
And
that's a major power grab. Totally.
it's a big. I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of somebody running as something that they're completely lying through their teeth. They're George Sorosing their thing. George Soros, if he hadn't been a Republican, he would be a Democrat. He would be running as something. He would
Yeah.
be trying to get in. So if he ran and then get in and then decided to flip, because somebody paid him to, hey, since you won this, how about you flip over to our side and then we really won it and it's a win-win for everybody and we'll pay off all kinds of shit for you for probably through Bond villain Harlan Crow.
Yeah.
Whatever debts you have,
And the
whatever things
NRA.
you need, we'll make all those fraud things that we're dealing with right now, we'll make all that
Go away. Yeah. These fuckers, man, they're just fucking. That's what I wanted to name the episode, is just Republican fuckery, because that's what they're doing. It's just total fuckery.
So you
Oh,
get
tell them about the big
nothing.
fuckery. Tell
You
them about the big
lose.
fuckery, about what they're doing to kids.
Oh, well, hold on. I wanted to just do this really quick.
We got more? Okay.
Steve Bannon urges JFK Jr.'s son, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., to run for POTUS against Biden.
It's not a tumor.
He's a anti-vaxxer and a chaos agent. And
Yes, and he did file to run for president. Yeah.
Yes, he's
Computer says no.
like literally in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could see Stone. You can see pictures of him with Stone, Roger Stone, and
Insubordinate.
it's when you listen to the guy talk, he's not a confident speaker like so many of the other great eloquent speakers of the Kennedy family. JFK, Bobby, they could talk. This guy, he sounds like he's kind of scared to talk. I mean, he really sounds like he doesn't
He's
sound like
got-
instill confidence.
There's something wrong with his voice.
He doesn't instill
There's
confidence.
something wrong with his voice, though. He does have a fucked up kind of voice. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. If it's medical, my apologies. But I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying that regardless, he's not the same orator.
He's got the same thing as the senator from Maine, the woman.
Thank you, Satan.
Yeah, so here it is right there. Here it is right here. I don't think I wrote her name down. Dem switches side to ours, to Republicans, in Kansas. God damn, it's so fucking gross. It's so fucking gross. I don't even want to read it out loud. So they can get the majority to vote. Check my notes. Check the genitals of children before they can play school sports. You sick fuckos.
These Republicans who want to do this, it's ironic that
Makes
they
me want to
look-
cry. Literally makes me want to cry.
It's really ironic that they want to look at little kids' genitals because they can't see their own. And that's I just went up a little bit, but
Yeah. It's gross.
these guys
It's really
are,
gross.
and it's a really disgusting thing. There, you just had a Republican on 60 Minutes saying that, hey, they're all pedophiles on the left.
Democrats are all pedophiles.
Democrats are all pedophiles. And getting away with saying that, not really getting questions,
Not
on it,
even
not
getting
called on
pushback.
it.
Just getting a wow.
And here, again, we have an example of the Republicans actually pushing something through that is seemingly quite pedophilic. We've got this. We've got the the refusal the refusal to push through the law of making 16 being the minimum to marry in some
Here
states.
you go. West Virginia Republicans blocked a child marriage ban.
Yeah, blocked it.
Blocked it.
It is your right to marry a child.
Yeah.
What in the
It's sick.
ever-living fuck
There's
all
more. There's more.
makes anybody
Republicans
think that?
in Florida are trying to force girls to disclose their menstrual cycles. State of Missouri just demanded all libraries, to defund all libraries. The librarians are suing. Missouri Governor Tate Reeves declared the April to be the Confederate Heritage.
Tate Reeves?
That's what his name is. Idaho governor quietly signed abortion trafficking bill into law last night, Wednesday. First law to restrict interstate travel for abortion care since Roe was overturned. The law goes into effect in 30 days.
Yep. Is that the one where they? It's the
That's
transportation.
Idaho
So
transportation.
that's the one where if you get pulled over and you have a pregnant teen in your car, they can arrest you under the concept that, hey, maybe you might be transporting this person out of state.
Right. No, they can't. And guess what? If your mom transports you out of state, you already have her permission. But you're saying you need parental permission. Well, do you need parental permission from one parent or both parents? It's so loosely written, loosey-goosey, that anything could happen. It's like they were going over it and Tony Michaels showed today, and it was like fucking scary as fuck.
Yep. Cops are going to pull you over and make you take a pregnancy test.
So as we're watching the Tennessee House Republicans try to expel their members, they're also
Which
voting.
is a funny line if we wasn't such a serious subject.
Yeah. They're also voting to allow teachers to carry guns in school.
Which, by the way, that school shooting, for every one of the fucking morons who says, more guns would help, more guns would help, more guns would help. That
already have more
security
guns here.
guard had guns. The security there, they had 2 security guards at that school. They were both armed. Okay? That doesn't help when you've got somebody with body armor firing an assault rifle.
And I love what Gavin Newsom said. They're trying to ban books, silence teachers, and intimidate students. And he's absolutely fucking right.
Yeah.
And there's
The
that
price
one.
is wrong, bitch.
There's that one guy, I saw a video of him, and he's like, my 95-year-old mother went through, World War II. She said the first thing they came after was an educator, and the reason why I know that, because I was a teacher, or my mother was a teacher, or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
They want to keep people dumb.
They want to. They took the books away.
Yep.
They went after the teachers. They went after the professors. They went after college students. They did all of it.
Do you think these
Everything that we're
Republicans
seeing now.
are really in on it? Are they really part of the Bond scheme? Are they part of, Quantum or whatever
How can they
the
not
bad
be?
guys are? Or do you think that they're just really stupid and really being played by foreign actors?
I think they're getting so much money from the Russians, and I think they're owned. I think
it's
they're
both.
owned. I think they're compromised too. You look at somebody
Yes.
like Lindsey Graham.
Many.
Whatever the fuck Donald Trump has on Lindsey Graham, it better be spectacular.
Ted Cruz. He insulted Ted Cruz's wife and his father.
Yeah, but Ted Cruz is, at least Lindsey Graham liked what's his name? McCain. John McCain.
Yeah.
And Trump insults the fucking motherfucker, and he and
Trump insults all of them, and the military love him. I don't get this. I don't understand what this is.
Just a flesh wound.
So
Back on the
just a
bunch
little
of
quick
ankles.
note, but Pence is going to testify in the Jan 6th thing, which I think is good. That came out today.
Yep.
Um,
Did you know
and he's
that?
not going to appeal it.
Did we talk last week about how there's a method that they can use to where they can force him to testify where he cannot use the fifth?
I don't know
Did
if
I
we
bring
talked
that
about
up?
that, but I do remember mentioning that Jack Smith isn't interested in his position of what position he played that day in counting
Right.
the electors. He wants to know about what he knows about what Trump was doing.
Right. So
So,
one of the methods that they can
his
use,
little-
because everybody said the guy's just going to plead the fifth, he's just going to plead the fifth. And I thought that was it. That's the end all. It's not.
I think there is a way, because I think it's in the
It's
notes.
not- there's a way.
Because there was an appeal for executive privilege for Donald Trump, and the
stop it.
appeals court said no.
Right.
So Mark Meadows, Pence,
There's a way to do
Cipollone,
it.
all these motherfuckers have to testify. I
If
have that in the
they
notes.
offer them immunity, if they say, Mr. Pence, we are not interested in charging you for any crime
Yeah.
in what we're going to ask you about. They remove the concept of him having to plead the fifth. Therefore, he is no longer afforded the Fifth Amendment at that point. The second that they do that, he has to testify. And if he's found lying to them, that's perjury, and they will go after him big time for that, and he needs to know that.
Yes.
But this is the way that they can actually take that Fifth Amendment as a Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, F-I-F, Fifth. They're just going to keep doing that, but you can't do it here. It's set up to wait, he's not going to offer that to Trump. Trump's going to be able to plead the fifth, but everyone around him, they're going to say, we're not going after you. And when we're not going after you, that means that you cannot say the Fifth Amendment, which basically says that I refuse to testify under the grounds that my testimony may incriminate myself in these legal proceedings. If we
You don't want
remove
to
you,
incriminate yourself.
if we take you out of the scope of these criminal proceedings, there is no incrimination. There's no incrimination. There's
Yeah.
nothing that you have to positively attest to as far as incrimination. So therefore, it becomes very easy for them to say, okay, now you have to tell us. So there is a way around the fifth, which
Well,
I
that's what
love.
they did.
And that's what they're
the
doing.
appeals
after.
court
Yeah.
said no. And
Well,
that's why they also
yep.
have to testify.
And
The
Pence said
thing
he's
is,
not going to appeal
Pence
it now. Yeah.
wants, he could appeal it again. He's not
He's
going
not going to. Yep.
So that's
Yep.
good news. Did you hear about that Republican dude who worked for a higher up Republican, and he went on the run? It was like a really low profile story, and I was like, did we ever find the details
Yeah,
about that story?
I think
Tony?
you still need to narrow it down, believe it or not. There's so much corruption and everything going on the right.
Okay, but this guy did go on the run, and he was found dead this week, and by a gunshot wound. Now we don't know if
Okay.
if he shot himself by suicide or if the cops shot him.
This
So
is
we don't
different
know.
from the guy who was killed by a knife in San Francisco who used to
Yes.
work for Musk.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a totally different
Allegedly.
guy. I have to look it up. More details to come, but we did find out that he is dead. So that was kind of a weird little under the radar story that slipped through all the fucking attention that
You're
was
hearing
reported
it
this
here.
week.
You're hearing it here on HBL Radio Nation. Share,
And
like,
well,
follow,
I would just,
tell everybody about
you
us.
know, keep
Join
your
us.
keep your eyes on that one
All the
because I bet
socials.
there's a lot more there that we don't fucking know about.
Yes.
Well, the 60 Minutes ratings tanked for the MTG Peef Pup.
Worst ratings ever.
I swear to God, I was so fucking mad when I saw that. You know, Leslie Steele.
I didn't even watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
I waited until it came on the socials and I picked it up on it there.
Yeah. And it was totally normalizing her. She's an insurrectionist. She called for Nancy Pelosi's execution. The Jewish space lasers, the Gazpacho police,
Hit it with the space.
the birther movement. She said no plane hit the Pentagon during 9/11. And every school shooting from Sandy Hook to Parkland is a fucking
False flag
and
with crisis actors.
And harassing David Hogg on the street, saying she had a gun in her purse that day. Do you remember that she said she had a gun in her purse that day?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was 17, by the way, still then.
What about the 19-year-old reporter that was talking to her just a few weeks ago? Well, just a couple of months ago, really, last fall. And while she's talking to this lady, she starts, like, you know, as she's walking, she starts kicking her.
She tripped her. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
She
did
called
kick her. She
Biden.
tried to
She
trip.
called Biden a piece of shit on a video that went viral.
Oh, yeah.
She said Dems are all pedophiles. They're the party of
Yes.
pedophiles.
Yes.
Unquote,
And she's tripled down on
She
that.
gave tours of the Capitol before January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone thinks she's the Jan 5 bomber. I swear to God, everybody thinks she is. I swear. She's a total QAnon, and she calls
QAnon.
Trans-Tifa is like her new thing because it's like Antifa, but the Trans-Tifa because of the gun. One person it was a trans person that did a man's
Trans-Tifa.
Trans-Tifa.
I love the idea of a bunch of, like, kind of terrorist trans coming around the corner and, like,
all in feathers and boas.
Susie Izzard, who used to be Eddie Izzard, is, like, leading the way, looking fabulous with glitter everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, she's
Kicking
fucking
ass, taking names,
awful.
and looking fabulous.
Yeah, and when she said about the insurrection, she said they would have been armed and it would have succeeded if her and Steve Bannon were
She's beyond
orchestrating it. She wants a Christian government.
If you notice, she doesn't listen to anyone when they argue points back to her. She closes her eyes to close off reality, does the little shake thing,
And she sticks her chin up
and
like
she
this.
says that I know better than you.
Yeah.
Kind of a mentality, and that's where she's stuck in her head. That's her mental disorder. She can't get past that. Some people see that as a strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental disorder.
Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it is. Total mental disorder. And oh, by the way, before she, ran, she was worth maybe $500,000. And in the last 2 years, now she's got her net worth $11 million.
Is that possibly from Harlan Crow? What about Bobo, Lauren Boebert? I mean, she was an escort, allegedly former escort, on a web page where people have produced the web page and they've put it out on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else, and she's even joked about it, about the many stories about it. She's not exactly the most moral person in the planet either. She's well armed, but she certainly isn't very moral.
We
Who
know
the
about
hell-
the sex guru.
Who gave her all the money to start her business? I mean, starting her business was probably a big part of it. We want a female
With the diarrhea
to run.
place or who are we talking about? The
Lauren
diarrhea
Boebert.
place or the fucking workout place with the sex guru?
What, she had a workout place that she funded? She opened one?
She prior
Lauren Boebert?
No. MTG is
MTG.
the workout place.
MTG is the workout place, yes.
And
yeah.
and Lauren
She was having the
Boebert had
affair,
the
yeah.
diarrhea sliders place with
Yes.
guns.
Yes. Shitters. It's all in there and shitters. And boy, it's living up to its name, boy. I don't even want to stand up for like a month because it hurts.
But I love Eric Adams before Trump was going to be arraigned.
Smells the same coming out as it does going in.
Mayor Eric Adams of New York said, we respect the rule of law here in New York, and MTG, quote unquote, be on your best behavior.
Yeah, and she got whistled the fuck out of there.
Oh, God, it was so beautiful. Tony, you ready to play the drops?
Everything. I love the drops.
God, they're so good. They're so funny. And by the way, Michael Rappaport, we love you.
Emma.
Out of New York, you racist, sick, filthy, infected animal!
Love that.
God, it's so good.
Hit it with the space laces.
So good. Oh yeah, earlier.
Fucking space lasers!
I think this is what I don't know what day this was. But Jim Jordan wants to defund the DOJ and the FBI.
Oh, of course, they're all calling for that now.
Yeah, he's dumb as fuck. Oh, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders hates socialism. But now that a tornado hit fucking Arkansas and Mississippi, she's got her hand out to the fucking federal government.
And I just
wrote, fuck her.
Huckabees need money.
Insubordinate.
Fire bad.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I think on Twitter I said, stop paying it. Don't pay it anymore. Don't give red states any more of our fucking tax money. How about you just cut them all off? They want to succeed. Succeed.
Secede.
I'm sorry, what country are you from? Hollywood?
I do that all the time sometimes, and it makes me cry. It makes me
HBL
laugh.
Radio Nation.
Motherfucker.
Screwing up words just for you.
Just fuck. What the fuck?
Follow us on.
I do it all the time, though. I do it all the time.
So
no, they want to secede. Here's an example of what your life will be like if you secede from the United States of America. You will get no more funding.
There will be banjos.
You will get nothing. All the National Guard comes out. All the Army bases, they're all gone. Right? You get no more FEMA and federal.
They're all going to be walled off.
A hurricane and a tornado hits.
Yep.
You can sit and spin, motherfucker.
And they're going to be walled off, and they're not going to let any immigrants in, so they're going to have nobody to do all the work that they refuse to do themselves.
God, it's like really bad. Oh, the Lauren Boebert parody account.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this post?
Lauren Blobert, yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. The parody account is that if they can charge President Trump for his crimes, then they can charge any of us for our crimes. The rule of law means nothing to these people.
You loser.
Pretty much the exact opposite.
Of course.
Rule of law means.
But I was like, I did not see the parody thing at first, and I'm like, is this true? Is this real? Did she really fucking say this? I mean, you gotta
kid
fucking
knocked up a 14-year-old, and that's not allegedly.
Yeah, you gotta look to see if it's a fucking parody account nowadays, because
yeah, you gotta look close.
Well, the thing about it is that I believe she's so goddamn dumb she would say something like that.
That's right.
So that was fascinating. Oh, here's a little. Oh, here we go. We need a little sound effect. Here we go. This week in George Soros news.
Filthy, infected
George Soros. I said George Soros. George Santos. Motherfuck. God damn it.
Get the fuck out
His 2020 campaign donors don't seem to exist. A reporter tried to contact the donors and found address and names that could not be confirmed.
Mr. Harlan I can use your money. Nobody gonna know me.
I mean, and then him getting run out of New York too. That was pretty great, and he was like practically in tears. And I think it scared them.
You could tell
I think
that
it
he
really
likes
scared
New York.
them because New Yorkers are like, "Fuck you, you filthy animal!" They don't give a shit. You think you're gonna walk into a blue city like New York City and get away with your propaganda bullshit? They are
not going to happen.
Especially in New York City, they're not going to fucking put up with that shit.
Hey, Trump, why don't you try holding a rally in Watts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Lindsey Graham calling it legal voodoo and practically in tears, begging
Voodoo,
people.
you do.
God damn, he's a fucking
favorite
hot
Seth
mess.
Facebook.
Well,
And
I'll tell you
literally-
what, that takes us to the giant orange elephant in the room.
Ooh.
And we started in the middle of our show
Broke.
last week, the news
Last
broke
week.
that he was going to be
Yeah.
indicted.
Yeah. I believe I professionally broke it by
Yes.
saying, oh shit, die?
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but fuck. And that was literally
so
at
sorry, but,
5:45
Here we go.
a week ago. So it's been a week since he's been indicted. Now he's been arraigned.
Mm-hmm.
We went through that whole OJ-esque weirdo fucking travel scene with him
Yeah,
getting on the plane.
the
And
president
and
traveled that same
driving
day, and they didn't follow him around with cameras. It was
No,
really
it was
weird.
very OJ-esque. It was.
But
It
what
reminded
was
me of
weirder-
OJ.
What was weirder? Oh, Lost Skeleton of Cadaver, great. What's even weirder is Eric's delusions and his family's delusions about this. When we got off that plane, we got into that car, and there were people stretched for miles and miles and miles. There were like 15 people with a couple of flags.
Yeah.
This was not a January 6th moment.
It's like the first lie that fucking Donald Trump said
Yeah.
about his fucking crowd size at the inauguration.
Yeah, he's been lying about it for a long time
He
now.
always lies about his fucking
size.
crowd size. He lies about the size of his hands, the size of his cock, the size of
He's
his
got
crowds,
a problem with
the size of his ratings.
Everything.
How about no?
Everything.
You crazy
How about
Dutch
this cat?
bastard?
Tony, you want to put it up? This was excellent. Excellent.
Oh, the guy putting the
excellent execution.
That's the guy on the skateboard right there, wearing the
in the hat.
smiling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because he's the one that he's on the skateboard,
No,
and you see he pushes the skateboard in front of him. You see, I want to see what happens after this
Nah,
video
no, you're
because
not.
he goes after him.
He's lucky he didn't land on that fucking helmet.
No, bitch. Nah. Nah, no, you're not.
Nah.
No, bitch.
God, I could watch that all day.
Yeah.
Filthy, infected animal!
I love that line.
From Metro Detroit, this is
HBL Radio Nation, and follow us on all the social medias.
I know. Follow us, subscribe. We do have a Venmo somewhere. I don't know where.
Follow us, friend us, give us money. Give us lots and lots of money. Give us your firstborn. Give us your thirdborn. Give us your car. Give us your grandmothers. We'll even take the grandmothers from you.
That's a big negative. That's a big negative. 5 eggs. It's
But you
funny. Andrea, who's in the chat, recognizes some of these clips.
Did you know that Tornado Alley actually shifted?
It seems like
It's
it has.
actually shifted. They've determined that it is actually
It's not
shifted east.
It's not like Oklahoma
And it's expanded
Kansas.
now. Now people in Oklahoma are like,
I can breathe. We can breathe.
okay, all right, we're good. We're good this year. Who knows what are they going to get next? I don't know. Bog monsters or something. But,
God, do you
yeah,
remember?
tornadoes moved. So now we're starting to get a lot more tornadoes here in Michigan.
Yeah,
too.
it's ended up in the taint of America.
Yes.
You remember that?
The taint of America. Love that.
Yeah, Florida's the dick of America. Texas is the
dicks.
brown
Yeah.
star state. And in between is the taint.
The taint of America, yeah. But up here in the mitten, that is used quite often on the dick of America, Michigan, which is very blue right now. Love the state right now. Love the fact
I
that
love
it's very
Gretchen.
blue.
Remember, oh my God, I love her.
Big
Love her,
Gretch.
love her.
We love
I'm
you,
listening.
especially because today you signed an abolishment of the 1931 abortion law, making certain that that law cannot be used against the women in Michigan again, ordering that they, that the government step in and take control of their bodies, basically. She got rid of that. There's no way they can go back on it. This is great. The Republicans are going to have to sign some new law into effect, some new act into a bill, into a law that is going to ban abortions here in Michigan. They're going to have to go after that if that's what they want, because Big Gretch just made certain. No, you can't
Love
go
her.
back on this. You can't go back to that 1931 shit. I just got rid of that shit.
That's 100 years old.
I just got rid of it.
Double middle fingers in the air. I love our
Here's
state.
your law.
Hey, for all y'all who live out there in the red states, why don't y'all move to Michigan? It's blue up here. You won't be blue dot in the red state.
Well,
up
it's
here.
illegal to marry your 12-year-old cousin up here, so they might not want to move. 12 might be a bit,
They're banning
old
guns. They
for
did
some
the
of 'em.
abortion thing. They did the thing with the labor law that was like last week or the week before. They're
Child labor law, yeah.
they're
Yeah,
doing-
Huckabeast had a big part of that.
yeah,
Can you
they
believe
want
that?
they're relaxing.
A mother.
They want children in fucking.
A mother wants kids in mines.
Oh my god! It's
Like
so
South
gross.
Africa, like Elon Musk allegedly has, like his daddy allegedly had in the alleged mines, allegedly in South Africa.
So Donald Trump indicated that he was going to be indicted. I can't stop laughing.
Gonna be indicated.
Indicated. I just been walking around the house going, indicated all week and just start laughing.
I don't have to worry about getting an angina because I'm a guy. It's the same kind of logic, right? You know, it's the same kind of dude that we're talking about here. What if we nuke the fucking hurricane, huh? How about that? You know, the only thing that Trump was really
By
missing
Greenland.
when he talks was to add, like, to have like a cousin Paulie there. Hey, what do you think, Paulie? Huh?
Yeah.
Why you got to drink all the time?
Y'all
huh?
feel me?
I mean, he may have just been, Rocky. Throw him up there. I mean, brain dead, punched around, punch drunk.
So don't even
And they
think
were all
about
like,
messing
they
with
were,
me.
in the
Rocky
beginning.
was smarter though.
In the beginning of
Way
it, they were
smarter.
like, "Oh, it's 34 misdemeanors. This will be nothing. It's a nothing
Yeah.
burger. Bing, bing, bing." We come to find out it's 34 fucking
34
felonies.
felonies. And we thought one felony, 4 years,
Yeah.
and that was just the Stormy. And it's not just the Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels was only 3 of the 34 counts in total. All 3 were. Now here's the thing: everybody says, "So what? It's a payoff. So it's a payoff. So what? It's a payoff." No. These fuckers made shell organizations. They made fake companies. That is some serious mafioso shit. This is not about paying off a porn star. This is not about paying off a porn star and a Playboy bunny and a doorman. This is about them setting up shell corporations, using that in tax documentation, somehow in business documentation, attesting that this money is going to this shell corporation, knowing that that shell corporation is only set up to be able to pay the aforementioned individuals.
And not only that,
Mob shit.
he slept with Stormy Daniels in 2006, and he didn't pay her off until 2016.
Yeah, because
just
he was
before
worried
the
about it.
election.
Because he was worried about it.
Yeah, he paid him off to keep him
Did
quiet
she-
for the election.
Did
That's
she
why it's
maybe
election
say-
fraud.
Did she maybe say, I might start talking about this unless you give me more money?
Well, I think
Did
the
she
Karen
say that?
McDougal's
Maybe?
the
Good on
Catch
her.
and
She's
Kill
a good businesswoman.
went through with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal.
Yeah.
And the doorman guy. Now, I knew about that doorman story a long time ago, but we didn't have any confirmation on it or whatever.
Did you know that child grew up to be Jorge Santos?
I heard that the child was aborted.
Nothing.
So it's definitely Jorge Santos.
And by the way, these hush money payments were in the Mueller report, but because Mueller was held back from looking at Trump's finances, and Bill Barr blocked the Stormy Daniels McDougal cases from proceeding during the Trump administration, and we now know he told Cy Vance to stand down and not go after the case because they implied to Cy Vance that they were going to do it.
You little shit.
So yeah, that was fucking big week in Trump news, man. In the gag order, everybody's like gag order, gag order, gag order. I have something to say about that.
I think it's smart that he didn't do the gag
At
order.
first, I think it's kind of far. At first,
It gives Trump the, when I believe if he's a Southern boy, if the judge were, you'd say you give that, give him room to run while you're hunting.
yeah.
If you're fishing, you let him run the line out a little bit, that sort of a thing. Otherwise, we might say you give him enough rope, he's going to hang himself.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I hope he hangs himself, because this is going to be a spectacular winter coming up. Because remember that the way that this all turns out, this case isn't going to start until late fall, early winter. It's going to go throughout the first part of next year. It's going to take him out of the election cycle.
He is going to have nothing but headaches and lawsuits for the next 8 months until the December 4th. When just this case we know is going to go through. Just this one. We don't even know about the other ones. I mean, we know that we're going to hear something next week and the second week and the third week. It's all crazy.
And when
but I love that the Central Park 5 tweeted just one word, karma.
Yeah.
And Trump was indicted.
One of them
arraigned.
took out the full page ad, thing that doing the same thing to Trump that he did to him back in the day.
Yeah. Trump was
had
actually
money
arraigned
back
in the
then.
same building that they were all those years ago.
Yeah.
Hate Donald Trump
And the other thing that we don't know that kind of slipped under the rug was that he was also arraigned on the same day that on the anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. I did not know that.
You're
You're looking at 3 black prosecutors are trying to take him down. You got Bragg, James, and Letitia James and Fonnie Wells. Are they doing it?
One expelled, one spared.
So far.
I think it's going to be 2 spared, 1 expelled. I think they're going to stop at the 1 expulsion, hopefully, but we'll see.
So I love
Still
this.
uncalled for.
I don't understand.
Expelled.
I don't understand. I can't understand you, Tony, because it's very low.
Got expelled.
It didn't say. It says 1 Dem expelled, 1 Dem spared.
Yeah.
Okay.
The black guy got expelled. The white lady got spared.
Probably.
That's exactly what happened. How come
Just
all
imagine
the
that they were in a car and they got pulled over.
Yeah.
One's dead, one's alive. Yeah, it's the white lady's funny.
How come like all the right says is that all,
there is only one
all
way.
Donald Trump's fraud is a leftist hoax. All of his fraud is a leftist hoax. And I don't understand because he's done it to himself. He was doing all these fucking crimes himself.
Right.
He broke the law. And how is it our
His
fucking
company
fault?
is guilty of business fraud. That was his company up until he turned it over to the kids, only because he was running for president at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that means he is guilty, just as they are, of business fraud. He is a fraud. We can actually say
And
that.
it's been going on for years, and we've all known about it. Just like I like this so much. He's not so much the first president indicted as he is the first criminal to get elected. Because we knew he was a fucking criminal before he was elected, and we were screaming it at the top of our fucking lungs.
Yeah.
And nobody would listen.
Well, nobody was taking him very serious the very first time.
No. They were like, he's no shot in winning, and da-da-da. Even that night, you could see it on his face. He didn't think he was going to fucking win.
Right.
And I love that from the guys who brought you Lock Her Up, they want to, now they're saying let him go. And I guess there was no mugshot. He did get fingerprinted, and there was no DNA swab. And I was hoping for the DNA swab for E. Jean Carroll
They'll
case.
get it. They'll get it in that case. They didn't go with the mugshot because he is a very well-known individual. Everybody knows what he looks like. You don't need it. But I love the sketch artist.
I'm sorry.
sketch.
If Martha Stewart had to get a mugshot, then he deserved it too. She was just as famous as he ever was before this.
Yeah, but
She was
from
super
a legal
famous
standpoint,
at that time.
From a legal standpoint, I mean, she hasn't been on a stamp. I don't think.
He's not on a stamp, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Make me want to barf.
Well, former president. We hate the fact that he's former president, but he was former president. So
Damn, I still wake up some days and I just go, I cannot fucking believe this asshole was our fucking president.
here's the fun part: if he goes to jail, if he goes to prison, rather, guess who has to go with him?
No.
The Secret Service.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
They have to protect him.
Are they going to have guns in the prison cell with him?
Who knows? He's not
How
going to be
is
in a
that
prison
gonna
cell.
work?
He's going to be in a cottage.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in the prison cell with, Bubba the child rapist. He's going to be in a cottage with Bubba the child rapist.
Yeah.
What we've got here is failure.
I don't even know
to
how
communicate.
logistically any of this is going to work. This has never happened. This is all novel to all of us. We have no idea how this shit's going to fucking pan out. It's crazy to think of this. It's crazy.
He has so many cases against him that are all pushing actual jail time.
Yeah.
That, it's wonderful is what it is. It's, my popcorn tub is full. My popcorn tub overfloweth.
Yeah. Well, and Taco Penis was saying that, he's not ready.
Tapioca?
The Secret Service isn't ready to have him, be arrested yet because they need more time for, security and all this bullshit. When we knew that he could have been arrested last Friday.
Right. Yeah.
We know that. And not only that, we also know now, too, that he could have been arraigned via Zoom. He did not even have to.
He refused it.
He refused it.
He wanted to make a spectacular.
He wanted the fucking
spectacle.
Yeah, and then he tweets.
And then he saw that it wasn't a spectacle.
I know. And then
That
he tweets
sucked
out.
for him.
Then he tweets out all this bullshit about how New York City spent all this taxpayer money
Framing
on
it.
security because of him.
Nice.
Show it to the people.
Did you
Show
hear
it
me?
to the people. We're going to show it to the people. There we go. Can you see that, people?
Detroit Free Press. I know. I love it. I just absolutely love it.
There we go.
I love it. It's great. Love it.
Love it. That is definitely one to frame.
Yeah, the 34 counts.
The 34 counts. I mean, I haven't even gone through all the counts. I haven't had time to go through the counts. There are 34 fucking counts. They're all felonies. They're all payoffs and various things. And they're setting up those shell companies like we were talking about.
Well, the thing is that they haven't really spelled it out because they don't want to spell it out yet. They don't want to give him the information and let him look over it for the next fucking 8 months. That's why they didn't spell out every fucking count. The thing is that he did these things to cover up the other crimes.
Right. Yeah.
It's always the cover up with these motherfuckers. Always.
That's why the setting up of the shell corporations are in there, because the shell corporations are all set up to cover up crimes and to take him one step removed from those crimes. And that's part of what, RICO and all these other laws are intended to, enable the law enforcement to go after these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't set up a shell corporation if you have any integrity or ethics or legality in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and he's got hundreds.
Nobody does that.
He's got hundreds of shell corporations.
Yes.
Hundreds of them.
Yes.
I
And
love what
this is the
Frangela
thing.
said. I don't know if you know who Frangela is, but they said you can only bring 5 personal items into prison and at least 20. 20. He probably needs 20 items to do that rat nest on the top of his head. And I fucking started laughing so hard.
We are going to see pirate Cheeto because, first of all, he's going to be as pale as I am when he stops getting all the spray tans on a daily basis. Second of all, he's not going to be able to do that rat's nest. So what he's going to do is he's going to do the bandana all the way up and over.
Oh, like
he's going to do the Aunt Jemima.
Dude. Oh, right.
He's going to do the Aunt Jemima with a an American flag, is what he's going to do.
Yeah, and I love how everybody is like, this is a somber day. This is a sad day in America. And I'm like, no, it's not, motherfuckers. I'm already on my second beer. Like, I was like I don't know what the fuck you're like. He's traumatized this country for fucking 8 years. Don't let them dictate your fucking feelings.
Perhaps you'd like me to come in there and wash your dick for
And I agree with that. I'm like, don't let anybody dictate your feelings. You feel about this how you fucking want to feel about it. I was stoked. I was ready to bust out the fucking champagne.
Believe it or not, we got more breaking news here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, just coming in with this. This just in. The latest quote from Melania Trump is Donald who?
He was my coffee boy.
I take pictures with lots of men. Be best.
God.
And that's it. That's all we got on that one.
Yeah, the Central Park Five was arraigned there, and also that happened in 1989. And they
Yes.
weren't released and exonerated until 2002, the Central Park Five.
Yes.
That's such a fucked up, awful story. And how he took out that full page. I remember that full page ad in the New York Times asking for their execution. That fucking sick fuck. He's been a racist piece of shit his whole life.
Yes.
Ugh.
He's evicted, little old ladies who needed, their dialysis machine and all that kind of stuff. He put the dialysis machine next to her out on the curb.
Yeah. Because he's a fucking... He's a racist piece of shit. I think we all know
Michael Rappaport would say he's a piece of shit.
Racist.
He can go fuck himself.
You racist piece of shit. You infected animal.
You know what? Get the fuck out of here.
New York, you racist, sick, filthy, infected animal!
Infected animal.
Rappaport, we love you, brah.
He's awesome.
Come on the podcast anytime you want. Open invitation.
Get the fuck out of here!
I love.
He's got the ultimate
New York accent.
Get the fuck out of here.
Attitude and accent and everything. I love.
But just that phrase alone, he's got the ultimate. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here!
I love rude.
That's the real deal. There.
Rude pundit on Twitter. He said, you know what's missing in the most of the shit that the GOP is tossing around about Trump? People that are saying that he's innocent. Nobody ever says that he's fucking innocent except for him.
I've seen some videos of the crazy maggots saying that it's all left-wing propaganda.
Hoaxes and that he's totally innocent.
It didn't. None of that.
I never see anybody saying.
But these
he's
are the
innocent.
people that I think believe that there is no Biden. That Biden's played by actors, 5 or 6 different actors, including Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like they really believe that there's like
a body double.
I'm pretty certain that their couches talk to them when they get home and tell them these things. And the foil helps.
The wind told me.
The foil helps, but not to block it, to focus it, really. To focus it.
They're so fucked up.
There's some really insane stuff, and there's some really mental health challenge stuff that I think Trump really took advantage of. And his whole concept of doing these moving tent revivalists, like the Christian revivalist movements of the tent, era in the 30s and 40s, where they'd be going around and praising and laying the hands on and like healing somebody. You're healed in His name.
Wait. Hold on. Breaking news.
We actually have breaking news.
Actual breaking news. Classified documents detailing secret U.S. and NATO plans for aiding Ukraine in an offensive were leaked on social media. U.S. officials said Thursday, April 6, 6:28 p.m. That's from Andrea Brower.
Well, we know that the right is totally against that. We know MTG is against that. We know that Brobert's against that. We know that Matt Gaetz is against that.
Secret U.S. and NATO plans for aiding Ukraine.
They hate the Ukraine. I bet it's one of those fucks who did it.
Who the fuck leaked this shit?
Gaetz, he thinks he's untouchable. He got away with, maybe trafficking kids. We don't know, or at least being involved in some kind of.
It was on the New York Times. They just posted it. Thank you, Andrea. What the fuck?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. All the time with them.
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
More breaking news during our fucking show. Real breaking news.
Well,
this is so not cool. This really pisses me off.
Yeah, on this one, it's going to affect Ukraine more than it affects us. And I think that Ukraine is prepared for disinformation a lot better than we are.
My computer just took a dive.
Oh, the Ukrainians are going
Did
after
it
her.
just shut off?
Di is gone.
Yeah, it did.
Di is gone. The Ukrainians went after her. The Chinese spy balloon that was going overhead took out her system,
You're just not on.
Okay.
and she is not on the system right now. So
I'm restarting my computer.
that enables me to talk about all kinds of things like my childhood.
You can still hear me. You just can't see me.
No, she's gone. She's completely gone. Can't hear her at all. Nothing. So my childhood really started when
Oh God,
I was born.
please no.
Yes, I was when I was born. But then they cleaned me up.
Filthy, infected animal!
That too.
you know,
Then
I
I got the
love-
transfusion.
I love Rick Wilson because he always comes out with flaming hot fucking, fighting back on the G.Q.P.
Right.
He said Trump is not a victim, and no amount of historical
Hysterics.
fantasy, because I do this all the time. You know me. I gotta fucking get it right. Trump is not a victim, and no amount of historical fantasy can change the rule of law. The false reality bubble that Trump and Fox made for him and perpetuate are not a match for the real world legal consequences. And I was like, bam! It's like, take this shit out in 2 fucking sentences. But I want it even quicker than that. I want bumper stickers. I want, lock her up and, that all the slogans that he had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we have to
Yeah.
get better at that. Our messaging sucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes 2 sentences to get that far. But there's so much criming.
Traitor Trump.
I mean, why the fuck are we here?
Traitor Trump. Why isn't Traitor Trump a thing? Why don't we have all kinds of
Yeah.
Bumper stickers and merch for Traitor Trump? Instead they have Trader Trump, like, Trader Joe's. They've got all kinds of merch tables. I honestly saw this on January 6th while we were watching in horror as they're going after the Capitol and they're breaking into the Capitol. I'm looking and I'm like, holy shit, in this one wide shot, I'm like, oh my God, babe. I call my wife and I'm looking and I'm like, look, right there. Is that a merch table? This guy set up a fucking merch table.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, wow, entrepreneurial spirit. Like, way to go, bro. You're really pushing the product. Good for you. I don't care if you believed in it or not. At least, hey, good business sense to get in there with a merch table.
They're also saying it was
But
spontaneous.
dude, holy shit,
but
there's a fucking merch table there.
Yeah, they were also saying it was a fucking spontaneous thing when
Yeah.
they had fucking T-shirts made, 1776 and all this fucking bullshit. It takes 2 weeks to get a fucking T-shirt. Why do I know that? Because I'm in a rock and roll band.
Yep.
That's why I fucking know that.
Yep. If you're gonna do it en masse like that, and you're gonna do it in the way that they did it, yeah, if you're gonna do it with the iron-on type style stuff that they're doing from China,
Yeah.
you're gonna send it overseas. It's gonna take a while to do it en masse and then get it back to you to be able to sell it. They had that shit ready to go. They had merch
Yeah. It's insane.
on the day of,
Yeah.
and they had merch tables there while they're breaking open the windows. Nutty, but they're just like any other tourist, I'm sure.
God, it was so fucked up. Well, I love how the Republicans are saying charging a presidential candidate with a crime is un-American.
Un-American, they just expelled a Democrat from the Tennessee House.
And they're trying to do, well, they spared one, expelled one.
That means that the one that's spared is probably going to be censured.
Well, he's the black guy. They spared the blonde lady. Now they're going after this guy. Fuckos.
You filthy animal!
Oh, in the car getting pulled over?
I love, how Republicans say guns don't kill people. And I don't know, somebody named JB on Twitter said, then why do we arm soldiers? Why do we give soldiers guns? Oh, so they can kill people.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, Nixon was so close to getting the same treatment. He really, really was. But he had the decency to resign before it got this far.
Nixon had the devil angel thing going on his shoulder. And Nixon did some good things when he first got into office, but at some point that butter slid off the muffin, right? And he just went a bit wacko. And if you look at it, it's kind of like, yeah. So that's the whole thing with Nixon, is that like Nixon started off kind of okay, and then like power corrupts, and like, you know, he really got corrupted, and something snapped.
He became
upstairs.
President and then a criminal, whereas
Yes.
Trump was a criminal before he became president.
That's exactly what I was getting to in a very long roundabout way.
I love Eric Trump goes, at some point the guy needs a pass. Oh, really, Eric? Really? No, he doesn't get a pass. Not this fucking time. He's got his pass his whole life.
Who's Eric giving a pass to? Who was Eric giving a pass to? Not to any of those animals that he killed.
Oh,
How about you?
Douche nozzle.
Yeah, Trump won't plea deal, which is good. That means it will go to trial.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And as we were saying before the show, when this trial goes down, this isn't going to be until late this fall,
January.
Early next year. Yeah, this is
The next trial, the next meeting is December 4th.
Well, they're going to have to go through a lot of pre-meetings. There's going to be a lot
There'll be
of
motions to
stuff set up. There's going to be a lot of appealing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Trump likes to, push it off and appeal and appeal and appeal and appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tactic that they use for several reasons. One, because the other person might die. But in this case, it's not another person. It's kind of like, a whole bunch of, folks behind this. But he's hoping that new people might get into office that might decide we're going to drop the case. And he's hoping that it's going to go for so long, he's going to be able to use the excuse of, well, look, this was so long ago. Why are you trying me for it now? Well, this is ridiculous. This is digging old stuff up. And he's able to say that kind of a thing.
Well,
A
guess
defense,
what?
a media defense.
The statute of
to it.
limitations doesn't start until you stop criming.
That's true.
And he crimes every fucking day.
That's true.
So,
But he's going to be able to use that in the social media type, attacks that he's going to be making after that. And when he does his revivalist tent meetings, he's going to be doing that. And he, just like the preachers of the 30s and the 40s and the Dust Bowl, that's exactly all of his cadence, all of his arguments, it's all based on that. I mean, he'll say something, he'll kind of stop, and he'll listen.
Stick his
and
chin
see
out.
how did people respond to that. If they didn't respond to it good, sometimes you'll see him say, okay.
Remember when they
he'll
laughed
never
at
say
him?
it again.
Remember they laughed at him after he said, I've done the most for any president in the United States ever, and they laughed at him, and he goes,
At the UN?
And he goes, I wasn't expecting that response, but okay.
That was at the UN?
Yeah.
Trump.
He's embarrassed.
That was one of the
Oh,
greatest
and by the way, he keeps saying that he's now raised, if we go by Trump's count, he's been raising $1 million a day. I don't believe it. I don't believe his bullshit when he's like, we've raised $10 million. And by the way, if you're asking all your people for money, the last thing I would do is tell them how much you're raising.
Yeah. Take 5% of what he says that he's doing, and that's probably what he got. Because that's
Donald
what he says
Trump
with
so
the numbers
He
that show up.
always exaggerates his numbers.
He exaggerates by 95% usually.
We're watching the downfall of a dumb fuck, and I'm just going to say, indicated one more time.
I can't believe hey, Paulie, they indicated me over here.
Indictment.
Can you believe that?
And he's calling this election interference.
Now I can't have no more kids.
The goddamn election isn't for another year and 8 months.
I always get my money, you cocksucker.
But by the time that this trial gets going, it's going to be
It'll be in
the
primary season.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to take him out of the running and take him out of being able to really, get a foundation going of voters to back him and to see really how well he's doing to determine as to whether he should go forward or drop out or whatever.
We only have 15 minutes left, so I really want to bank through a few things here.
He's going to drop out. That's my prediction.
We found out this week that the DOJ found out that Trump actually went through the boxes himself. There's a video of it.
I saw the video, yeah.
I did not see the video. I missed the video, so I don't know.
I saw the video,
But we found that out this fucking
It's his own video, too, by the way.
Yeah, of course. And we've got a lot of information from his Molly Michaels, his assistant, almost a day-by-day take on what was going on at Mar-a-Lago during that time, which I thought was great. Secret Service has to testify against him in the documents case. there's a bunch of rumors that Fonnie Willis is coming next. Bunch of rumors Fonnie Willis is coming next. I don't know if that's true or not. The Cy Vance thing when he admitted that Bill Barr stepped on the thing. Letitia James, April 10th, that's coming up this week, is supposed to depose Trump in the civil case. So that's going to be this week. Now, I wrote it all down. I think it's the Letitia James civil case this week. Okay. Then next week, it's the E. Jean Carroll case where he has to be in court for that one. And then the week after that is the Dominion case starts. And that's not going to be good for him either.
He's not going to be at the Dominion one, but that's not going to be good for him.
No, but it's
and it's not going to be good for the Fox hosts.
Like against him. You know what I mean?
It's going to work to their favor for their ratings very short term, and then their ratings are going to plummet after that.
Yeah.
I
hope so. Oh, and everybody in Stephanie Miller, they're all calling Jim Jordan's committee the Itty Bitty Treason Committee, which I thought was really great. And it made me laugh.
Jim Jordan's going to find 12 more...
anything to make me laugh these days is a good thing, right?
Jim Jordan's going to find 12 more whistleblowers
and just to remind everybody, Trump was in 3,500 civil lawsuits before coming POTUS. And this is really his first criminal suit. And the rules and the laws are different.
Yes.
When it comes to criminal versus civil case. And
including what you can say about it as well.
Yeah, he's never faced the criminal justice system before. So this is novel in so many ways, and we're just going to have to go through it. And just because the former president of the United States got arraigned, arrested, indicted, and all that jazz does not mean it's the end of the fucking world.
Vindicated.
God damn.
Nothing is over! You just don't turn it off!
I thought this was interesting, too, because it's like we almost have bombshell fatigue. There's bombshell news, like even the fucking new news of this.
This just in.
Yeah.
Barbie's a girl.
It's either really, really terrible, a really, really terrible thing, or a really, really huge win, right? And it's, tons of documentary evidence against him. Every time he opens his mouth, he admits more crimes. Whether it's on TV or the social media or recordings or texts or videos, financial documents, stolen documents. There's so much criminality. The witness
Donald
tampering,
Trump
payoffs,
so
bribery, grifting, obstruction of justice, tax fraud, bank fraud, rape, conspiracy, election tampering, stolen documents.
So much.
Yeah, federal and state crimes. I mean, your head is
Donald Trump
spinning when you start thinking about and try to put it all together in a cohesive message. No wonder Dems are having a fucking hard time putting this in a cohesive message, because this is all what you got to deal with.
Right.
I mean, traitor Trump for, trying to overturn our government, but there's so much more there,
I've said it before, it's chess with a pigeon. It doesn't matter how well you can play chess. You can make the most eloquent move on the planet that you've ever made, and the pigeon is just going to strut around and just, shit all over the board, knock pieces everywhere, and just act like it won anyway.
Right.
That's what we're dealing with when we deal with the maggots. We have to remember that, because we're not going to convert anybody over to our... There's no point in arguing with somebody who's not going to convert over.
No, it's a waste of time.
And these people will not convert over to your side of thinking.
And I thought it was
you have to identify and avoid.
I thought it was very interesting the morning that he traveled to, so that we're talking Monday, not Tuesday, when he traveled to Manhattan. Roger Stone and Boris Epstein arrived at Mar-a-Lago before he went to New York. And the thing about Boris Epstein is that he was born in Russia. He's a Russian agent. Mm-hmm. Everybody fucking knows it. It's not like a big secret. Everybody fucking knows it. And he's literally sitting at the table during his arraignment. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's like he's his Russian handler. And he's sitting right there, right next to him.
They made new declarations as to who was going to be on the legal team the night before. So that would be Monday night. Exactly when you're talking about flying in.
Right.
That's when they decided who's going to be representing Trump and how are they doing it.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Oh, well, MTG comparing him to Jesus Christ and fucking Nelson Mandela made me want to fucking barf.
Cheese and rice.
Finland's in NATO. That's great. Finland's in NATO. That was a good thing that happened.
That more than tripled the NATO border space, the NATO border with Russia at that point.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we won the important Supreme Court election that was in Wisconsin.
Yes.
We won the mayoral race in Chicago.
Yes.
So, again, there's great wins. But then you're going up next to these motherfuckers trying to kick out Democrats for
showing up at a protest, basically.
going against the gun lobby.
Protesting.
For protesting.
After three preschoolers were killed.
Yeah. 3 teachers, 3 not teachers, but 3 administrators and
3 adults and 3 kids under the age of 10.
Right.
Were killed.
It's disgusting.
3 kids under the age of 10 were killed. That's all we need to say. The 3 adults happens all the time.
Oh, and I don't know if you knew. Have you ever heard of John Huber? U.S. Attorney John Huber?
No.
In 2017, Trump ordered investigations into Hillary Clinton with his AG, Jeff Sessions, and U.S. Attorney John Hubbard. It lasted for more than 2 years. And it found absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, that was the 3-year locker up investigation, right?
No, this is a different one.
It's a different one.
It's a different one that we just found out about this week. That's what I'm saying. Same with congressional Republicans who investigated the Clintons for 40 years, including during the 2016 presidential race. The R's invented political persecution. Now they're whining because their guy gets nabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times has Trump said that if someone's under a criminal investigation, they shouldn't be eligible to run for office when it was...
Oh, yeah. Who said that? I know.
When it
ding,
was
ding, ding, ding. I know.
Going up against Hillary Clinton. I mean, over and over.
Trump said that a million fucking times.
Millions of times.
John Eastman gets... let's see. John Eastman gets disciplinary charges from the California bar. So that's at least good. These lawyers... I have a list of fucking 20 lawyers that I could name off the top of my head that have represented Trump.
No, you wrote it down.
Well, I wrote it down, but off the top of my head, I didn't look anything up.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't look one fucking thing up. You know what I mean?
It's an endless parade.
Endless parade. I'm not even going to go into it.
And literally fuck your own face!
But yeah, Boris Epstein, born in Russia. I can't believe he was sitting at the table. That was really eerie to me. Very
what
eerie.
am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You changed
Epstein?
your number. I'm not going to be ignored.
It's not Epstein. It's Epstein.
Yeah.
Like Frankenstein.
But it's spelled the same.
Frankenstein.
Epstein, whatever. It's spelled like Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah, no family members were there. No family members were there in court helping him out. I love the cop that just let the door go in his face, and he doesn't get treated like that very often.
No, the help holds the doors for him usually.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't paid the help for a long time, because out of that list of attorneys, how many of them have been paid by Trump?
Yeah.
That's the interesting metric that I want to see. How many of them claim that they're still happy with Trump because they've been paid by him? Because I don't think any of them have been paid, and I think he takes advantage of that whole attorney-client privilege, and until he pays them off, he is still technically their client in some weird legal way, so he utilizes not paying them off as that's going to keep them quiet.
Yeah, I don't understand these people who throw their whole lives and their whole reputation and their whole career under the bus for this fat, orange, fake, phony fuck. I don't get it.
I don't either. Yeah.
And
like,
literally,
it's like you and I setting our whole lives and our spouses and our families and our houses and our cars and our pets and everything, setting it all on fire for somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Because we believe in Billy for president.
Billy Gaffney for president. Billy for POTUS.
Billy for POTUS.
Billy Gaffney.
We have a lot
Billy,
of
he does own
Billy.
the United States recording studio.
This is true. This is true.
Billy Gaffney is the very talented musician who does our opening and closing music.
Your forehead
and,
is like a
we are about to get out of here. I just want to say it's first-degree felonies.
Your penis is like a two-headed snake. I saw you pissing into two urinals at the same time at the boat club.
State campaign conspiracy, federal campaign limits, state and federal tax violations, and false statements on AMI books. So that is what we are left with after the arraignment of the former president of the United States.
Yes.
As John Duff would say, Mango Unchained.
Yes.
So your last thoughts, Brian.
My final words of the day are going to have to be that.
We've got 4 minutes. What the fuck?
What?
We have 4 minutes.
Oh, we do?
We got 4 minutes, so my final words are going to have to wait a little bit while we talk about the fact that
we have 4 minutes.
MTG got completely whistled out, and there's a whole campaign of people like buying whistles and noisemakers.
Yeah.
And every time that she started to talk, they started to blow them, and it was so beautiful to see
So
all
awesome.
of this.
It was hard to listen to, but it was great. Yeah.
She complained that it was a big, attack on her, her First Amendment rights, and she just doesn't.
It was abusive attack on her eardrums.
Does not get
Go
it.
back to the farm, you animal! They're looking for you at the sanctuary! You filthy animal! You QAnon lunatic!
See, that's her getting. That's her getting.
Blaster with the fucking space.
You're hearing a bunch of whistles there,
York,
but that's carryover when she tried to start talking.
That's when she's trying to leave.
That's when she's trying to leave. When she tried to start talking, though, everybody around her pulled out whistles and noisemakers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I gotta grab something.
It was great. It was phenomenal.
We have a few things around here. Like you've got your little pipe, and I've got my little ding dings, and here's my Marjorie Taylor Greene whistle. I don't want to do it in the mic.
Yeah.
It is a train mic, a train whistle. So it's
a
even
conductor's whistle.
Louder.
That's a conductor's whistle.
This is a conductor's whistle, and this will fucking blow your eardrums out. I swear to God. Just so you know, it was the 55th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination on the day that he was arraigned. Trump was arraigned.
Yes.
Just the 55-year anniversary. Just to put that in perspective.
Yeah.
And when you think about these 3 black prosecutors who are right now trying to bring him down, along with Jack Smith, right? It's amazing. But I also am kind of pissed at the Department of Justice, because where the fuck have they been? They've been real fucking silent, dude.
They're sitting back and they're waiting, and Merrick Garland is
I've been a little
got
pissed
a lot
at
of
Merrick
explaining.
Garland.
He's got a lot of explaining to do. Over there.
It'd be nice if you came out and said something, Merrick. You've been in there since March of 2021 or 2022.
Right around there.
Well, it's a year difference, so which is it? I did write it down.
She's got it written down, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you that my final words for the day are going to be that when I die, I hope I go nice and peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming like the other 3 people in his car at the time. Thank you very much for listening. This is HBL Radio Nation.
With the fucking space lasers.
Hit her with the fucking space lasers. Here we go. Thanks, everybody.
March 2021. March 2021. So, all right. Take care, people. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thanks for
Hal
living.
Sparks is coming up next.
Get ready to vote.
You filthy animal! Filthy, infected animal! Get the fuck out of here!
I love that.
I know. I can't get enough. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thanks, John Duff. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, ADM FLA GURL 38. Andrea, we know who you are. Thank you so much. Peace out. Bye.